A Hunter in Teyvat, Chapter 58b, Fan Fiction, by Azazyel. I will tell Lady Ningguang the good news then. Thank you all for the wonderful dinner, and here, Jake. With your acceptance, I was already given the key to the home in particular in advance. Ganyu said as she took out the large house key from her own space bag, and I blinked as I accepted the key with its address carved into it. Why is the address carved into it? Won't that literally tell the robber where I live? I asked Riley, and Ganyu's face scrunched up as she paid the bill for our dinner. If you get the key robbed out of your space bag that is under your jacket, I think you have bigger issues, as only people with extensive magical training or a vision can open a space bag, Jake. Ganyu spoke jokingly and I had to hand it to her that she was correct. If someone could get to the space bag that was under my clothes and open it, then I would likely already be dead at that point anyway. Well, Paimon guesses we don't need to worry about a hotel room. Oh, does that mean Paimon can have her own room? Paimon spoke excitedly, and I looked to Ganyu, who shrugged. I am not aware of the dimensions of the domicile you have been sold. But its addressee is fairly close in the residential district. Ganyu said before she cupped her hands in front of her body, glove-clad chest, bowing lightly to us, and left the restaurant, probably to tell Lady Ningguang that we accepted her quest. But I had a niggling thought that wouldn't leave me. If we just didn't happen to arrive in Liyue, would they have sent someone to offer the quest to us if we were still in Mondstadt? And would the offer have been the same? I mean, sure, Ningguang wasn't evil or some manipulative mastermind, but she had clawed her way to the top of the world in the business sense and is literally the titled queen of Liyue, as it were, with how she directs its actions, with how offhand the Adepti and Morix were. Well, Paimon thinks we should just go find our new house, seeing as we couldn't find Yanfei today. Paimon spoke out as we finished the rest of our food. Lumen hummed in acceptance before she looked to Eula, asking a good question. Eula, you know where the residential district is? Eula nodded, and thus she led us through Liyue after a few minutes of walking through the residential district, which was like an old Chinese building-style subdivision with rather similar houses all lined up with small plots of land around it. Well, here it is. And it's actually a good size too. So I call my own room, you and Lumen keep sharing one. Paimon said as she stole the key out of my hand. I took it out, and before we could react, unlocked the door and flew inside the house. It's already furnished too. I heard Paimon yell as I and my two girls walked into the house, and Paimon was right. The house was lightly decorated, not with too much stuff, for there were a few tables and chairs, and when we went to check the bedrooms, we saw beds were already made with clean bedding. Well, let's just air out the bedding, then we can go to bed or something, I said, although the bedding was clean, but who knows how long it has been since someone used or cleaned it. So Jake, we're going to christen this bed and house? Lumen asked me softly as she came behind me and wrapped her arms around my chest, standing on the tips of her toes to tuck her chin on my shoulder. Her hands ran up and down my chest as I had taken off my ornate jacket, leaving myself in a simple white t-shirt with a snowflake on it. You minx, I whispered to her as I leaned back into her and just enjoyed the warmth of Lumen's frame all but molded against my back, and as Eula stood up from where she had fluffed up the pillows after I took care of the sheets and Lumen the blankets. I reached forward and pulled Eula against my chest, so I became the meat in the sandwich that was Eula and Lumen. Eula, my love, would you help make sure we sleep well tonight in our new home together? I whispered into the blue-haired beauty's ear, and I could see a small blush creep up her pale neck as she nodded. I will have vengeance for this surprise though, Jake, Eula muttered, but as her words were swallowed as Lumen's thinner and softer hands snuck away from my chest to wrap all around all of us, and Eula grunted as Lumen bluntly just grabbed Eula around her boobs in her bear hug around us all. Jake lay down first, Lumen whispered to me, and I separated from the girls as they hugged one another with their chests pushing against one another as they side-hugged one another. Then they in unison lifted the one arm that wasn't hugging the other woman to themselves to sensually push me back to land upon the bed. Next 10 chapters on supporting sites. Hey, if you like this and want daily uploads and to read early chapters, please drop a tip in my Ko-Fi https://ko-fi.com/Azazyel22926 or https://www.patar-ian.com/Azazyel, and your precious energy stones. It keeps me working on it. My commission rate is $15 per 1,000 words. Azazyel.